Hi Jill. Well, here it is. It's now complete. It's actually a new cover, but I've actually inlaid the original of all the original gold tooling of the title page. You can see I've actually removed that from the cover. The other cover, well, the original, this is its condition. See the big kink in there. I've had it in the press for months and I just could not recorrect it. And you can see how bowed it was. And it would look pretty awful. And not only this is an imitation leather. They've been using imitation leather for the last 160 years. So this cover that you've got now, there was no extra cost on this, but it's real leather. This is called bison. It's a bison leather. You can see the grain in there. So nice new spine. And the front cover, as I said, I've inlaid into the leather at the front, so it has the exact same front cover you had. And I've even gold embossed these lines, or debossed these lines that were the same, with a dual line. I think one of mine's a little bit thicker. And I've made it look old, so it matches the age of this book, or what the contents are anyway. So that's what the cover looks like. And now, of course, it's all complete. You know, a nice straight back cover. The other cover on the other side was even worse than that one. So, and a nice spine. And being it's leather, it's going to last lifetimes. This will never come apart again. So the thing that's not going to last lifetimes, unfortunately, is the newsprint inside. And here it is. I've used the original end papers on here. So they're the actual original papers. I was going to use an original paper on the back as well, but I could not save the rear end paper because I had a huge chunk out of it. And no matter what I did to that, it just didn't look very nice. So I didn't use that. But what I have used on the back, and I'll go straight to the back, is just a nice piece of black buckram, which is like what they use in law bindings. And that's the other original side of that's the flyleaf or the end paper at the back. That used to continue over there. So it's a double jointed cloth joint that's in here, hinge. So that's on a cloth hinge. And the same with the front as well. So no more, they only used paper. Very weak. So this has got now a proper cloth hinge. So let's start from the first newspapers, but yes, they are in order now. All right, we open, and the Magna Carta is the start, with the other one that's on the back about King John 1215. I think it's just you'd know a bit more about it than I would. But anyway, look, there's the Magna Carta. You can see how the tissue repair fills in all the voids that were missing to complete it. Reinforced on any of the creases, because this is the only way I could think this would fold up, just copying what was there originally. As you can see the back of it as well. The tissue that I use, you can read right through it. It's quite transparent now. And as I said, I've reinforced the folds, if there were any, which there were a few on a couple of the papers here. So that's the very first one. Second one is the execution of Mary Queen of Scots in 1587. Again, missing the voids. And what I've done too here, you'll see on the inside, this has actually got a cloth hinge with a linen sewn thread all the way through, holding them all together. Before it was overstitched like you overstitch a blanket, which was just ripping and pulling at the paper and making it a lot worse, and it would have just got worse to the point where it was totally no good. But now you can actually freely turn these pages. I've kept the original repairs or the strengthening of these, not that it's really good, but it's still working, and I've had to secure it sometimes in places it was trying to come off. And it's, of course, as I said before, it's all sewn in, so they're all, you can see the linen thread there going right the way up there. It was hard to match all the different sizes, but I took quite some time to do it. Then you come to this one here, which is the next one in line. Again, hand stitched, tissue repaired. There's the next one, the weekly news, and so on. This one here is the next in line, which is the warrant of King Charles. All in one piece. And then it starts up very similar to the way it was originally, which is showing all the booklets in order, going up. Now, I may look like I'm a bit rough handling it, but I've been handling it a lot, because every time you'd fix something, it was fragile enough to just fracture again. But I think I've managed to repair as much as I possibly can anyway. But this is going to need adult hands. Don't let any kids hold it, because yeah, it's not. You'll get the feel of it. You'll know how much pressure you can put on it. See how that sewing joint, that sewing goes right up to the top, and complete on the full pages that are at the back as well. Then you've got the Declaration of Independence, and then it starts with the times from 1793, and all these pages again are hand stitched right from the start to the finish, top to the bottom. See all this crackling type situation here, or fracturing. This is because the newsprint, they've printed it against the grain. Here you can see it's going with the grain. The grain is running up the sheet, so it bends over a lot easier. Here it doesn't, because the grain's running this way. That's the reason that this cracking, this bubbling up is happening. As you can see here, this kinking, can't do anything about it. So they've done quite a few newspapers, even into the next years. And no more holes, all together, all in order. Coming up near the end now. The very last one, which was quite an awkward one. They did a lot against the grain, unfortunately. Here's the last one here, which took quite a bit of work to get it to fold right, and I've used the same fold technique that they had, which was like so, because they had this section that was cut out. This one's a little bit longer here. But anyway, and these are just securing those joints. They've even put a piece of their material across here. I think that was an afterthought. Actually, I don't think that is originally like that. I have a feeling that this is a repair to strengthen the edges that was done a long time ago. And of course, opening it up, that's obviously where it's got to be loose, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to fold it up. They're quite clear to see and to read. And that's it, and that's the final end paper, of course. And then, so when you're putting it all back together, you just put that one down, fold that one up, just carefully, and then folding that in. You'll get used to it. And then just closing the book. The spine is quite, it's tight, but it's loose enough that there's plenty of, and if you look down there, you'll see it all in there. It's all stitched against the and the spine has a hollow back binding in it. So when you open it up, the spine will hollow out probably, but then again maybe it won't, because it's just so thin. There's no bulk to it. So, but that's okay. And yeah, so I really hope that you're happy with that. I'm quite happy with the way it turned out. Still looks old, even though it's a new leather cover. And yeah, it's something that's going to last as long as the pages are handled carefully. Could last a couple of centuries or more if looked after. And to treat this, you can use a leather dressing, just a good quality leather dressing. I suggest what's called a Marnie's leather dressing. Do that once every year, and that will keep the leather soft and keep the book going. So all the best. I'll get this on a YouTube video for you and get it off to you. Thanks very much. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.